Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and today we are back with more U.S. Constitution. Again, reading from my constitutional law book. So, today we will be reading Article 3, which it's not very long. In all, uh, there are 3 sections, and none of them are of great length. But Article 3 involves the judicial branch of the government. In notability, the Supreme Court, which under the Articles of Confederation, there was no Supreme Court. Article 3 of the Constitution said, yes, we want a court to make sure laws are just. So let's get into this. Article 1, Section 1. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. The judges, both of the Supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior, and shall, at stated times, receive for their services a compensation which shall not be diminished during their continuance in office. So that is Article 3, Section 1. Let's kind of look at this. The judicial power, which judicial judging, it's to be vested in the Supreme Court, one Supreme Court, and in as many inferior courts as Congress may set up. Appellate courts, state courts, courts for this and that. So, but yeah, there are. That's what this establishes. The judges, both of the Supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their office during good behavior. To me, that indicates judges can be removed if they are of ill behavior. And for me, what would be of ill behavior is someone who tries to play too political and takes bribes and so on. So, yes, I think members of the Supreme Court can be removed and shall, at stated times, receive for their services a compensation which shall not be diminished during their continuance in office. So they will receive a compensation, and for as long as they're in office, it can't go down. It can go up, but they must be the same as when they entered office or higher. Okay, Article 3, Section 2, Paragraph 1. The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made in or which shall be made under their authority, to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, to all cases of admirals and maritime jurisdiction, to controversies to which the United States shall be a party, to controversies between two or more states, between a state and citizens of another state, between citizens of different states, between citizens of the same state claiming lands under grants of different states, and between a state or the citizens thereof and foreign states, citizens or subjects. So there's a lot to break down in this, but it's essentially setting what the Supreme Court can handle, because you don't want it to handle the under cases unless they are required to reach a certain point. That's why often a case has to be appealed until it hits the Supreme Court, and it can be appealed no more. But let's go back over to this. Judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made, or which shall be made, under their authority. So, anything dealing with laws that had been made in the U.S. under the Constitution, or involving treaties made or to be made. To all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls. So, any cases affecting, well, like it says, people who deal with the politics between countries. To all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction. So, yeah, all cases involving um, anything on the ocean, essentially. To controversies to which the United States shall be a party. So, any kind of controversies involving the U.S. itself. To controversies between two or more states. So, say one state argues that this state is at fault for this or that. Example, say Massachusetts wants to sue South Carolina. That's kind of what we're looking at here. Between a state and citizens of another state. So, I can't remember the case, but it was about shipping. I think it was New York versus somebody. I can't remember, but in other words, it'd be like New York versus a citizen or citizens from Pennsylvania. Let's see. Between citizens of different states. So that could be just citizens from one state having a uh, issue to be settled in courts with citizens of a different state. Between citizens of the same state claiming land grants under different states. So, say you have citizens in Tennessee trying to claim a land grant in Kentucky. Um, and between a state or the citizens thereof and foreign states, citizens, or subjects. So, cases that involve citizens of the U.S. versus like citizens of another country. But yeah, Article 3, Section 2, Paragraph 2. In all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, and those in which a state shall be party, the Supreme Court shall have original jurisdiction. In all other cases before mentioned, the Supreme Court shall have appellate jurisdiction, both as to law and fact, in which, with such exceptions, and under such regulations as the Congress shall make. So, what we are seeing here is in any cases affecting ambassadors or other public ministers and consuls, and those in which a state shall be a party. So, in other words, if there is a state or states with a court case against an ambassador, minister, consul, let's say as part of the United Nations and is here as a diplomat, then that case is Supreme Court. That's where it starts. Whereas any other case is starting in a lower court and has to appeal its way up. So, yeah, that's essentially what that says. Congress can, of course, make um, other exceptions and regulations, but that's essentially what that says. Now, Article 3, Section 2, Paragraph 3. The trial of all crimes, except in cases of impeachment, shall be by jury, and such trial shall be held in the state where the said crimes shall have been committed. But when not committed within any state, the trial shall be at such place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. Trial by jury. That is guaranteed right there. You have a right to have a trial um, in the case of a crime, theft, murder, what other crimes may have you. That is guaranteed right there that you will have a trial by jury. So, yeah. Now, Article 3, Section 3, Paragraph 1. Treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless, on the testimony of two witnesses to the same overt act, or on confession in open court. So this is a very, very big thing the founding fathers looked down on, is treason. And so, treason can be um, tried in the Supreme Court, and they even give a definition here. Only in levying war against the United States, or in adhering to the U.S.'s enemies, giving them aid and comfort. One case you might maybe use, I can't remember if the good doctor was tried or not. Dr. Mudd tried for treason. And Dr. Mudd is a doctor who helped set the leg of John Wilkes Booth. I don't think he understood yet that he had shot Abraham Lincoln. So yeah, they did try him and they put him in prison, but Andrew Johnson pardoned him and released him in 1869. So he spent a number of years in prison, 4 years. But yeah, he was an American physician who was imprisoned for conspiring with John Wilkes Booth in the assassination. Okay, so it knows he was involved. But yeah, supposedly he didn't go through with any of the assassination plans or anything, but he helped uh, set Booth's leg. Uh, okay, so apparently if he had any part in the plot, it still remains unclear. So they're not even sure if he really had a part as a conspirator. He knew them, he's been seen in the company of them, but they don't know if he had any specific part in the plot. But yeah, he helped set. I think he helped set the leg of John Wilkes Booth, because when Booth jumped from the balcony, he hurt his leg. Let's see. After mortally wounding Abraham Lincoln on April 14th, 1865, Booth rode with conspirator to Mudd's home in the early hours of April the 15th for surgery to his fractured leg before he crossed into Virginia. So, yeah. Sometime that day, Mudd must have learned of the assassination, but did not report Booth's visit to the authorities for another 24 hours. That appeared to link him to the crime, as did his various changes of story under interrogation. Um, so, yeah, he was arrested and imprisoned, but President Andrew Johnson um, pardoned and released him from prison 4 years later in 1869. So I don't think he was arrested for treason or anything, but yeah, that's kind of essentially what I'm getting at, though. That's what they're kind of talking about, aid and comfort, is helping aid and comfort enemies of the United States. But anyway, and then um, as we were talking, no person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of two witnesses. They really want to make sure that it's actual treason and not just someone trying to exercise a vendetta against you. So, but the last part we're going to read here, Article 3, Section 3, Paragraph 2. The Congress shall have the power to declare the punishment of treason, but no attainder of treason shall work corruption of blood or forfeiture except during the life of the person attainted. So, Congress can declare that the person should be punished for treason, but the heirs of that person should not have to be punished because that person was guilty of treason. Their children, their grandchildren, nieces, nephews, no one, no descendant should have to be punished because that person uh, was guilty of the treason. But yeah, that's Article 3. So that will be it for that article. Uh, the next time we have another video will be Article 4 because it's not very long either. The video after that will give us Articles 5, 6, and 7, which will finish off the base of the Constitution. And we can start looking at the amendments. So yeah. But that'll be it for the video. As always, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Someone tries to tell you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, later.